A rough season for Purdue in 2023. You look ahead at 2024, and this team should be better. I think Purdue will be improved this season. Before we go game by game with predictions, just some thoughts on the team. Hudson Card, of course, returning at quarterback, has shown flashes of being a very solid quarterback. He needs some help around him, needs some receivers to step up. I think that's going to be the biggest concern for them on offense, offensive line as well. Are they going to be good enough? Running back room looks great, no issues there. And then the defense, I think it'll be okay. It's really hard to predict how good Purdue's going to be because they have a lot of transfers coming in, especially on that defensive side. So we'll see what it looks like. I think this team's going to be improved from where they were last year as far as I think they're going to be a better team. But are you going to see that in the record at the end of the season? I don't know, because the schedule is really, really tough. And here is that schedule. They played Notre Dame and Oregon State in the non-conference. And then you've got Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin on the road, Nebraska. I mean, it's just a really, really tough schedule. Vegas has their over-under win total at 4.5. I think that's pretty accurate. I think that's probably where it should be. Again, they're going to be underdogs if you just go through the schedule. Notre Dame, probably Nebraska, Wisconsin, Illinois on the road, so probably Oregon, maybe Northwestern even, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State and Indiana both on the road as well. So they're going to be underdogs in potentially 10 of their 12 games. Yeah, that's going to be a tough schedule. But I do think they get off to a good start with a win over Indiana State. Don't see them beating Notre Dame, though. That one I don't think will be really all that close. Although, it is early in the season. It's at home. You never know, I guess. But I don't really see them winning that game. They get Oregon State the next week on the road. Oregon, it's kind of works out to play Oregon State this year. You wouldn't have wanted to play them on the road last year. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup here. Oregon State has so many question marks with the new coaching staff, a lot of roster turnover. It's just hard to really expect them to be very good. And I know, again, this game is on the road, and that can be a tough place to play. You wonder about the excitement level at Oregon State and what the fans will be like now that they are no longer in a power conference like that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be weird there. But I think Purdue's the better team here. I think they're able to survive on the road. Probably a close game, but I'm going to go with a win. They get to 2-1. Then it's Nebraska at home. A winnable game, but in the trenches, I think Nebraska is going to be a better football team. It's going to come down to Dylan Raiola for them and how good he can play right away as a true freshman. If he struggles, Purdue can win this game. If he's really good, I don't think Purdue can win this game. I think it's probably kind of in the middle, and it will be a close game, but I am going to go with Nebraska. So Nebraska gets the win here. Then Purdue on the road at Wisconsin. Going to be a good Wisconsin team. Love their balance on offense. Tyler Van Dyke. So here's the thing with Purdue. You're talking about some question marks at quarterback with Dylan Raiola at Nebraska being a true freshman. Tyler Van Dyke with his ups and downs throughout his career. You don't know which version you're going to get of him this season. So these are games that if it goes bad for the opposing quarterbacks, Purdue can absolutely win these games. But if it goes really good for the opposing quarterbacks, Purdue probably has very little chance in these games. And like I said, I think it'll probably be kind of in the middle. I do think Wisconsin, though, is just ahead of Purdue still. Just a better team, more talented team, deeper, at home. Hard to pick them to lose. So I'm going to go with a win for Wisconsin, a loss for Purdue in this game. Then you've got Illinois on the road. I've talked about it. I just don't think Illinois is going to be very good this year. I've looked at some other power rankings and things, and there are others that maybe are higher on Illinois than I am. I'm off the mark here. I don't know. When I look at the roster, when I look at what they have coming back to production and everything, I just don't think Illinois is going to be a good football team. I think Purdue is going to be the better team. It'll be tough because it's on the road, but I'm going to go Purdue in this game. But then after that, it's hard to find wins. Oregon going to be way better than Purdue. Don't see that game being close. Northwestern, a winnable game potentially, but I think Northwestern, again, is just ahead of Purdue as a program right now. I think they're the better team. I think they will win this game. So that's going to drop them to 3-5. Ohio State, Penn State, I'm going to say really no chance in those games. And that puts them at 3-7. And that's going to eliminate any chance of them getting to a bowl game. And then you look at their final two games, two teams that you would think, yeah, they got a shot to beat. They have to play them both on the road. Michigan State, I think, is going to struggle this year with all their roster turnover and a new coaching staff. But it's a team that will probably get better as the season goes along. And they might actually be pretty good by the end of the season. Not really when you want to play them. And I'm going to go Michigan State at home here in this one. And then Indiana to close things out. I've talked about this team as being a surprise team. I really feel like they could be, and I think they're going to be much, much improved this season. They're playing at home. I'm going to go Indiana here. So Purdue, I've got them at 3-9. When I look at this team, without looking at the schedule, I would say this is probably a 5-7 or 6-6 type team. But when you go through the games and you got to pick wins and losses, it's just hard to find wins, and that's why I do have their record just at 3-9. I think getting to a bowl game is going to be tough. You could look at maybe Northwestern, maybe Michigan State or Indiana on the road, and then beating Nebraska. I mean, it's a tough path for them to get to a bowl game, but I think they're going to go 3-9. That's my prediction. What is your prediction? Let me know down in the comments below.